No. I just sent you a picture. Stop.
Ah. We're done. Out. Thanks for joining us this morning, guys. We'll see you Monday. Joe's like, yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, guys, thanks for jumping in. I never want to be happy to see a young person get charged with anything, but I'm sure you guys saw the girl in the track event. See her smack the other girl in the head, the back of the head. She's been charged with aggravated assault. DEI is over. Cancel this. Cancel culture, it's over. That's why we're switching the name. It's over. We beat it. We did it. Let us live in infamy. America is done with DEI and cancel culture.
Did you see how she was crying and claiming that she lost her balance? Whatever. That was a clear knock upside the head. Then she lost her balance.
Yeah. The free rides are done. Life couldn't, the Democrats are running around like cockroaches that they are. They have no leadership, no direction. DEI is done. God has shined his light upon this country. We must not forget. We must open it up. We must invite him into everything we do and be grateful. Yes, there are wars we're trying to get done and take care of. Sorry, you guys get on me. You hate me. Not hate me, I shouldn't say that. There are a few who hate me and my support of Israel and why. I'm not saying that I support everything that Israel does as being great, but Charlie Kirk, it's an oldie but goodie. I wanted to play it again. Just why we should never turn our backs on Israel. Why we need to have their back. Good morning, Jamie, Ben, Mitch, Tanya, Joe. Jumping in. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. That girl, her parents to allow her to go on TV and make excuses. I would have taken the damn baton and smacked my daughter upside the back of her head the same damn way. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's how we grew up in the 80s. Like my parents, somebody could have done something to me. Like, what'd you do? What'd you do to deserve it? That was the mentality that I grew up with. No excuses. Just hardcore. Those are the coaches that I had. Hardcore, in your face. Not physical ever, just yelling in your face. Come on. You got time for all this BS. Softy. That's what America was becoming. Not anymore. Gosh, it gets me excited. Yeah. You got to worry about my feelings. It's like, what? You know what? I am going to show it. I'm sending it to you, Joe, okay? I wasn't going to do it because it really wasn't. But yeah, I will. I'm sending it to you now. Mitch says Doge came out with graph tying 4 Democratic and 2 Republican direct tax money to them. Yeah, Lindsey Graham is part of it. Busted, of course. Surprise, surprise. All the secrets are coming out now too, which is amazing. Listened to a doctor previously with the Cleveland Clinic literally apologizing to all of his patients this last week at a conference about COVID, saying that they were uneducated. Everybody was afraid, so don't let it happen again. Remember that. If you were ahead of the curve, God bless you. We're back. Justice is being served. Loving it. Good morning. So glad you guys are with us today. We have a domain for America Live. Wasn't it americalive.net? Well, I can't remember what it is. Maybe we just go with that for a while. I don't know. It covers everything. I just think we need to get rid of cancel this. We beat it. I just sent you another video, buddy, of a guy pushing a woman down the stairs that is getting his due now, which is amazing. Lindsey Graham deserves it. Yeah, he's been bad. It's been obvious. I mean, all you have to see is how these people vote. You don't even have to listen to them. I hate listening to people because people give you so much lip service. I won't get into details, but yeah, I recently got royally screwed over. I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but it's just, and I know it happens all over the country, and I know it happens all over the world, but never in a million years did I ever get screwed over by people until I moved back home. It's crazy. In the last 4 years, people looking you in your face, who you are friends helped out, lying to you, backstabbing you. When you're in tough, desperate situation, I mean, you just got to push forward, got to stay positive. I believe in the positive vibes. That's why I love where this country's going. We have the right verbiage, and I'm sure you guys have all dealt with that as well, too. Why would you change the name Walmart when it fits in perfect? Because cancel culture's over. That's why, Mitch. It's over. Cancel culture is over. That's why. So, we all get tested. We just have to stay the positive course. Really affected me over the last week, trusting people, and then they just, from a business standpoint, I mean, this is nothing personal, just not like just, you think you have guy friends and then people, I'm sure everybody has one of those stories, right? Somebody screws you over business-wise.
Many.
And then it's like, well, you opened yourself up for it. You were stupid. And it's like, well, sometimes people will play on your desperation. You trust them. You help them. And you're like, wait a second. One day at a time from Tanya. We love this show. It doesn't make any money yet. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, I lose money doing this show every month. I lose a lot of money, don't I, Joe?
Yeah.
You work for peanuts. If that. But we love what we do. We're going to continue to push forward.
Sometimes the shells.
Yeah. If you're lucky. Under my feet. But I do believe in that positive, and it's so difficult to be. And the last thing somebody wants to hear when they're going through crap is somebody, oh, everything's going to be great. It's like, F off. Yeah, you know who's a good listener? Ben from Winties. I saw him on the chat line earlier. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show as well. We appreciate you guys. But all of that, it's like we continue to push forward. But the whole thing, it makes me want, it's like, I don't trust people anymore at all. And it's sad. And Ben says karma. And it's interesting because Megan, my girlfriend, said, when you got out of TV, you realized what real life was all about. She's like, because you were on television for 25 years and you played college football and were a broadcaster in football from Mizzou before that, they treated you well. They put you on a pedestal. And then you got welcomed back into the real world. And I'm like, damn. And I'm like, people suck. Not everybody, but there are. You guys get it. But everybody has a story. We're at different levels of craziness when it comes to things that have happened. But I look back at all the freaking fires. I'm like, holy crap. And we don't mind. We're honest. We know we put on a product that's as good as anybody that puts on in the country. Don't you think? I mean, that's not being arrogant.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Put our podcast on. I've talked to national people. Laura Ingraham watched our show one day. Didn't know if you guys knew that or not. Her pilot was in here. She's like, yeah, love it. She's like, great. And I'm like, Laura Ingraham, us? She saw it. She loved our show. I know we just have to figure out how to make money with it. Because we could do things all day. So, this is a time of patience. No, that's the last thing people want to effing hear, Greg.
We've had patience.
Good morning, YouTubers. Stay safe from the weather this weekend. Abe says, killed me. Was sued by a former boss, then by my former business partner, who was the former boss's son. What the hell? Let me repeat that. Was sued by a former boss, then by my former business partner, who was the former boss's son. Dear God. I mean, the worst betrayal is by those who are close to you, those who you trust, those who you have done things for. That's the worst. And then, of course, we're humans. We're going to make mistakes. People talk and don't even realize they're talking about people behind their back. I've done it. It's been done to me.
All right, you're giving me flashbacks. It's 9:02. Let's start the show.
I don't know. Have all your mother truckers. No. All right, I'm not ready to start the show yet. I'm just like, we've kind of started the show, haven't we?
Yeah, as soon as we go live.
I'm still warming up. Maybe I should before I start naming names.
Yeah. That's never good.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me sit up here. We were just talking about broadcasting live all day. Do we do like one of those marathons?
Like a telethon.
We'll podcast 24 hours.
A podcastathon.
A podcastathon. No, we have not had alcohol. I'm feeling a little bit better today for the first time in 3 days, which is great. Hold on a second. Let me do this here. All right, let's go ahead and start the show, buddy. Hey guys, welcome into the show. Vic Faust, Projo in the house behind the scenes, making sure everything's rocking and rolling. Glad you're with us. Glenn Thompson says gummies. No, we're not on gummies. We won't do that. Sorry, when I tried gummies, I didn't like the feeling. I mean, did I tell you the story when I did gummies, Joe? The first time?
I don't think so.
I did half a gummy, and I was doing a story. Literally, I did it because I was doing a news story on it on that Wednesday. And Joe, did you slip a gummy in Vic's coffee this morning? Why? Do I have that vibe?
I don't know, I guess.
Can we hear some of the music that Greg's wife played? I like one of those that we did.
Yeah, we were listening to it.
Yeah, I just pick one of them. I like them. Greg's wife, Danielle. I liked her. I like the track. Give me another one. Or is that where it starts? How about another one? I like that. There we go. Yeah.
And I got a driving down a beach highway.
That's my vibe. Sorry, I'm a California kid. I hate their politics, but I love California. I love it. I do. I love it. Sue me. I love California. I do. The whole thing with it. I love the music from the early 2000s to the beach to surfing. Where are we at this morning? I'm all over the place. Been on drugs.
What did you take?
Connie says, I'm headed to Florida a day early to avoid the jackass storms. I know they're coming. That's all right. Starting with half a gummy is a smart play, Vic. Never underestimate the power of a gummy. No, the first time I did it, to finish that story, the Patriots were in the AFC Championship game, and I despised them. I hated the Patriots, and I hated Tom Brady. And they were playing the Chiefs, and they got a bad call. Like the Chiefs should have won many years ago. I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 8 years. But I took half that gummy, and I just was like, oh, I don't care. I could not believe I did not care. But that's bad because it's like, oh, there's an earthquake. I'm probably going to fall down that huge crack. Okay. I'm going to enjoy the fall. I mean, my God, where are we going this morning? Hey, guys, there is a cancel this song with lyrics Danielle made. I'm afraid to play that.
I don't have it loaded up, but yeah.
That's all right. Connie Quinn says, Deflategate. Yes. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah. I would say we would do podcasting all day and all night. I got things to do, though, today. Hey, coming up on the show today, Alex Jones expounds upon more about what was going on with his top reporter being murdered, now execution style. We have more details. And he is saying that he was targeted because of what he does with conservative talk. That's something that's really going to open your eyes up to what happens in this business. And a lot of us get attacked offside. We really do. We get attacked. We get attacked. Democrat hypocrisy about shutting down the government. We'll get into that. Homeland Security officials giving evidence of what Joe Biden and his team was actually doing. Just another reminder. I already told you about Charlie Kirk and why America's support for Israel is so real. You guys know he's my guy for a variety of reasons. And you know who's my female? Who's my female? I'd like to do a podcast with her sometime. I'll allow her to share the screen with me. Who's my favorite?
Megyn Kelly.
Hell yes. You know why? Because she makes me look soft. That's why. Good morning to you, Karen, Abe, Greg, all the way around. A video. It's my opinion, not yours, when it comes to what's happening with our economy right now. It's the best video I've seen out there when it comes. Once again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. It's just keeping in mind what's happening. I'm telling you right now, inflation is on the way down. There is a method to the madness when it comes to what is happening right now with us possibly having a recession coming and it being government induced. Glenn says, get attacked, especially if you drive a Tesla. Yeah, no kidding. Total BS. Ginny says, I've been having a hard time getting the show. Every time I hit the button, it flips to a different day. I don't know what's going on with that. Michael, good morning to you guys. Thanks for liking and telling somebody every day what we're up to. Also, Kash Patel doing an interview yesterday about wanting to investigate Judge Juan Merchan, that evil man legislating from the bench in New York, trying to go after Trump. His daughter and her making money during that whole situation. Love it. We're not leaving one stone unturned. And Trump making good on a promise with that Maine governor. She tried to get all Billy Badass with him. Guess who got Billy Badass back? She did, and she hurt her state, and she won't be reelected. She politically screwed herself. So there you go. And then coming up at 9:15, our national listeners may not understand the whole situation, but our listeners in Missouri sure do. The state government takeover of the St. Louis City Police Department. It's what should be happening, in my humble opinion. There is a plan behind it, whether you agree or not. And we talk with our good friend, Scott Fawn, owner of the Missouri Times, MissouriTimes.com. He will be joining us live from D.C. We have a picture of him and his family. He took a picture outside Donald Trump's office this morning, too. So, there he is. Thank you, Joe. So Scott's in D.C. this morning. He's going to join us live in about 5 minutes to get a rundown on what's happening when it comes to the state takeover. The reason it could be interesting to people around the country is the fact that we've had this problem in Missouri. And I know you've had a problem with violent crime in blue cities where it doesn't seem like anything's ever going to happen or be done. Well, at one point in time, the state was running the local police department. And since the local police department took it over, it has not been good. So we'll get an idea of where they're going from there. Glenn says 95% of Teslas are owned by libs, so they're attacking their own. Yep, you're on that Tesla deal this morning, I see. Yep, that can happen. I get it. One thing that I did want to jump into, I guess, before we go to Scott, is let's talk about this economy. Good morning, Paul. You'll hear Democrats trying to yell and, our economy, how do you like your economy? And I see people posting things on Facebook. They're so ate up with their Trump derangement syndrome. Smart people with good hearts, but they hate Trump so much. You're just looking for something. This video from a guy who I follow on TikTok, when it comes to what's happening with our finances and what's going on, I think is a brilliant video. It's my opinion on this show. Listen to it because I believe this is exactly what's happening right now in our country.
The U.S. government's about to crash our economy, cause a recession, and crash the stock market on purpose, all at the same time. Now, if you've been waiting to buy a car or buy a home, things are going to get cheaper. But let me explain. It's not just Trump that wants to crash the economy. It's the Federal Reserve that needs this to happen as well. Now, first off, the stock market, I said back in December it was going to crash at least 40% for the NASDAQ this year. A lot of people laughed at that, but you need to understand 2016 Trump and 2024 Trump are two totally different people. Trump is on a mission. He's on a mission to cut government spending and to cause deflation. He wants things to get cheaper. That is not ideal for the overinflated stock market. Now, the Federal Reserve, their debt, their trillions and trillions of dollars that they need to refinance this year, they cannot refinance at the current interest rate we're at right now. They need the economy to contract and to go into a recession so they can actually cut interest rates and refinance the debt that they have. Now, Trump also has many promises that he's made as well, and he cannot accomplish those without causing a deflationary state. You cannot cut government spending and cause the economy to contract without going into a recession. So will there be some negatives from this, like job loss? Yes, but this will cause many things that many people have been looking for, like home prices to fall, interest rates to become better, and people just to be able to afford loans in general. So this is what's about to happen. The government is going to intentionally crash the economy. Now, for those of you that say, oh, well, Trump's just causing a recession, the fact is we had an inverted yield curve in 2022 that ended in 2024, and no matter who got elected.
Yep. What do you think? Thoughts from our money people out there? The thing up, Glenn, you're on the same page. Refinancing the debt is a valid point. We got a lot of debt. Trump's whole goal, whole mission here, as he has said from the get-go, is to make us independent in everything from energy to money. And when it comes to the finance issue, we got to refinance that debt. You can't until you get the interest rates down. So 100%, you have to have a little bit of a recession. Sometimes you have to go through the hard spot to get to the soft spot. That's life. One step back, two steps forward. However, be ready for liberals and those who hate Trump and hate Elon not to look at the big picture. They're going to just, oh, look at what's happening. That's right. Are you happy? Inflation is already down too. And yesterday, MSNBC was even reporting how they're shocked that inflation in 1 month is meeting where it was over a year ago. That's right. Inflation is already on the way down. People, be happy, be grateful for what we have right now because, yeah, I know, Joe, you're not down with digital currency, but it's coming. I agree, but it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it could be. You got to hurt before things get better. But the mentality of the Democrats, and not to rip the Democrats, They want everything now. They want everything easy. And, oh, we just have money falling from the trees and it blows from our trees to everybody's backyard. And we'll just give everybody anything that they want. Love it. So don't let people make your mind for you when it comes to the economy. I am so damn stoked about where we're headed when it comes to that situation. Makes 100%. No jobs who can afford a home. Got to hurt before it gets better. Absolutely agreed. All coming from the chat line. Donna says, who owns digital currency, crypto, China-based? I believe. Also, I loved President Trump and the tradition of meeting for St. Patrick's Day. It was so uplifting and positive. Prime Minister's speech was great. Hope to visit the Emerald Isle one day. All right, I'm Vic Faust. We got Projo in the house as well. We also have a situation where just follow what's happening, follow what's going on. There's a reason. I've always said buy the dips, especially now. The crypto aspect, study XRP, please. Study it when it comes to the digital side of things. We're not a financial show. I'm not going to be there, but I'm giving you the headlines from that standpoint. Also, St. Louis has had its problems with crime over for a long time. And we know #1 crime city in America, violent crime, despite statistics that have come out. Well, it's been talked about for quite some time, and now it looks like it's going to happen. Governor Mike Keogh's done an amazing job out of the gate so far in being governor in the state of Missouri. Now has a chance to sign it, where it's a state takeover of St. Louis when it comes to the policing department. To talk more about that is our good friend, the one and only. Nobody knows more about politics in the state of Missouri than Scott Vaughn. Scott Vaughn of MissouriTimes.com. Are you sitting in Donald Trump's office in D.C. right now? Oh, we don't hear Scott right now. We're going to have to make sure that we can get him. Joe, if you can take care of that with him and let me know, and I'll continue to talk. Scott, if you hear me, you look great. And
I can
we'll
hear
see if we
you.
can get that sound back up. Glenn, yes, XRP, exclamation point. Not me, Rosie moved there. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Michael Noonan, yes, the light coming on. So what St. Louis has an opportunity to do now is come under the light.
Can you hear me?
So the light is being shined on St. Louis City. And I like this because you're either producing or you're not producing. And now we're going to know whether they're producing or not producing. Do we have Scott back yet, Joe?
I'm not sure. I don't hear him.
Hi, Scott. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I can hear you
Yeah,
guys.
you look
just
great
fine.
as always. You're not in Trump's office, are you?
Well, we just stopped by his house, Casey and Millie and Gussie and I. We said, "What's up?" We checked on things. I think
Well,
Dom's got
I
it under
know that
control.
they heard you were coming to town. They're rolling out the red carpet. Scott Vaughn, what was your trip to DC for? Just personal, or?
I'm out here with the Missouri Farm Bureau. It's their legislative week out here, so I got out, taped my show. Senator Eric Schmidt will
Nice.
be on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, ABC 30. They were very in the Senate offices. But we came out with Farm Bureau, and then we got to have dinner with my favorite member of Congress, Ann Wagner. That's always a good time. She had plenty of life advice for the kids and myself and anybody and the waiter and everyone else, which was a lot of fun. If you can't have a good time with Ann, it's on you. Now we're going up to Capitol Hill again to visit with some legislators about rural Missouri stuff. But as is always the case, our rural Missouri legislators are obsessed 24/7, like a fat kid with cake about St. Louis. They love St. Louis. They don't give a damn about their constituents whatsoever. They only care about St. Louis all day, every day, 24/7. I don't understand it. Then this time they're taking over your police department. So I think that's a good thing.
I don't
Can't be
know.
worse,
That's
right?
why. Okay, here's the thing, Scott. Break it down for us right now. Governor Keogh is going to sign it in. He's going to sign it, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. He's not just going to sign. He's going to have a ceremony. He's going to, when he dots the I in Mike, he's going to give a pin to a cop. Now, I'll tell you why this is happening. Two reasons. Number one, honestly, the state had control for a long time. Uh, was St. Louis safe then? I wouldn't think so. Maybe
No, it wasn't.
safer. Now that it's been local control. The thing is, local control has not brought safety to St. Louis. Now, you could argue that it hasn't made it more unsafe. Smart people have argued that, but it's not made St. Louis safe. And number two, Mike Kehoe. I told people there a lot of Republicans are like, oh, we got to have Ashcroft and Iowa. I'm like, okay, let's see how that goes for you. And a lot of Democrats were like, "Oh, Kehoe's the best option of the three." Yes, Mike Kehoe will not be on Facebook whining and complaining all day. He won't be. He won't be. He won't be giving you the stuff you want to share and retweet and all that. What he actually does do is win. The dude
Mhm.
just wins. I think I came on your show. I came on every show and said, "Hey,
You
if you
did.
want to feel good." On Facebook, Mike Kehoe's not your guy. Well, the other guys would be better. But if you want to actually see W's put on the scoreboard, Mike Kehoe's your guy. And if you're a liberal and you're watching this, Mike Kehoe was your worst nightmare because he doesn't get on the internet and whine and complain and all that. He just wins. And here's another victory. I tell you, the honeymoon will wear off. It will get harder for Kehoe. Mike Kehoe's honeymoon will last longer than most because he's just that damn talented of a guy. And you just, when you're in a room with him, you're like, okay, this is the leader. This is the dude
Yeah,
that's the leader.
no
He's
doubt
got
about
those
that.
old school qualities that are just he's the bull of the woods. So I think this is only the first of many wins. Whatever he chooses, like school choice, I'd say next year it's coming. You'll have full on school choice. And I'll tell you this, you would not have had that under a different governor. It will take Mike Kehoe going and twisting those arms. Now, in St. Louis, I mean, it's great. You have a person who's totally committed to the success of St. Louis. In
Mhm.
rural Missouri, we actually elected him. Vic, if you go look back, you all elected Bill Eigel. You voted for Eigel in the St. Louis media market.
If you
The rest
break
of
it
the state
down,
voted
the St.
Kehoe.
Louis media, you're right, they did.
Absolutely. Now
That
I
blows
will
my
tell you
mind.
this:
And it was
we
again,
come
it's
back from
Keogh's
spring
backyard.
break. When we come back from spring break, there's going to be some rural folks. Okay, there's going to be one pudgy hillbilly when I get back from spring break that's going to say, okay, you've done all the St. Louis stuff. St. Louis is good, it's governmented. It's time you actually produce something for the people that elected you.
Yeah,
Right now, rural Missouri has been totally shut out. Our legislators could give a damn about us. They are obsessed with Skinker. They're obsessed with
stinker.
Delmar. They don't give a damn about Highway 60. And I think it's gonna. I think it's But I'll tell you this: the only way your suburban guys are so good. They whine 24/7. You can't swing a cat, Jeff Say they're hitting the whining suburban Republican.
I
We
love
don't
having you
step
on.
up in rural Missouri. And I'm so happy for y'all. You do a great job. I mean, the entire state legislature is totally focused on St. Louis. They could give a damn for rural Missouri. And the funny part is, they love to tell you, Vic, oh, we have super majorities. We have super majorities. Guess who the super majority of those super majorities are? They ain't from 270.
No, I get it. You're
They're
right.
from Highway 5.
Well, so you don't care about this takeover for St. Louis. It seems to me like
No,
if it didn't
I'll
happen,
tell you what. Mike Kehoe has persuaded me. I'll tell you the two things about St. Louis. The truth is, you could double, triple, quadruple the economic output of Barry County, or you could move St. Louis County's economic output 1/10 of 1%, and the state benefits more from St. Louis County benefiting. Us back to that growing controlling crime. Now, will this do it? I don't know. I tell you what, I've listened to all the hearings and the debate. I really do think this will increase the morale in the St. Louis Police Department. I do think
I
that's true.
agree.
I think that they're going to feel like instead of people after them, they can't turn their back on. They're going to feel like someone has their back. Now, I go back to I don't think there's a numbers case to say this is going to be what really makes things better. I think this is Vic. I'm not sure that crime isn't as much perception as actual crime. I kind of I asked Kehoe this the other night. We all go to Cardinal games, right? No matter if you're Farmington, if you're Kirksville, you're Warrensburg, you go to Cardinal games. The Cardinals Nation starts about the east end of the parking lot at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. If we're downtown, if if Casey went to a ball game and she's at Patios afterwards, right? The Magnolia Hotel up on Washington Avenue. It's
Yep.
about 6-8 blocks, right? If Casey texted me and said, I'm going to walk to the hotel from Patty's, I'd be like, whoa, no, you're not
No,
walking
you're
there.
not.
Now, the next question I have is, Vic, if you and I went to go to a ball game, and we go after the game to patios for an hour, would you and I walk if we were staying at the Magnolia? I actually think we'd get an
Yeah.
Uber. And until
Yeah,
you can make people feel, I don't care what your stats are. I don't believe the stats. I think they're all juiced and stuff. Until you can make someone feel like, because if we're in Kansas City, we could walk from the headquarters of KCP&L all the way to the plaza, and I wouldn't feel I really wouldn't even be worried about Casey doing it, if you want the
No.
truth. I'd feel comfortable doing it until you can make people feel that. And what we're going to have now, Vic, Mike Kehoe owns it. So if you support Mike Kehoe, you're going to have to put your shoulder to the plow and start promoting St. Louis. As much as it's going to be tough for some of us, it is important to this state that St. Louis succeeds. And I'm a firm believer. You can make those stats say a lot. Now you can't, the murder stat is what it is. Casey will argue there's no murders in St. Louis. And I tell you, those hundreds of dead bodies are very committed to the liberal media's narrative. But the stats I don't trust. What I do trust is the perception. Can you change the perception that St. Louis is a safe city? You know what? Why the hell don't we try?
Yeah, in time.
Why
Talking
don't we
with
try?
Scott. Yeah, talking with Scott Vaughn, the MissouriTimes.com, joining us live from DC this morning there with his family. Scott, is this
But
going
Vic,
to
that's on you. That's going to be on you. It's going to be on me.
what's
It's going to be
going to
on
be
a
on
lot of
us?
people to change the perception. Now that the state
How?
controls this police, well, we're going to have to start promoting St. Louis. We're going to have to stop focusing on the murders. We're going to have to start whenever they do have a small dip in crime. We're going to have to trumpet it and promote it. We're going to have to go there. We're going to have to take pictures and put them on social media. It's going to be on now. It's not just your liberal Democrat protester, purple-haired Starbucks employee from Chesterfield's problem. The rest of this state now needs to put our shoulder to the plow and say, "Hey, let's start. Let's say St. Louis is a great place, and let's look. Mike Keogh's the leader. You gonna follow him or you're not? I tell you this. After this is done, after this session, I think in August this will start to come around. You'll see the full control takeover. I think it's incumbent upon us, as in you and me, Vic, to begin to promote St. Louis City as a place people would actually want to go. It's time we stop calling it Beirut West and actually start promoting it. And you either support Kehoe or you don't. Now, am I confident this is going to work? No, sir, I am not. But I believe in Mike Kehoe. And if other people believe in Mike Kehoe, you're going to have to start swallowing hard and pointing out some of the good things of St. Louis.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out. We're still waiting on the specific details of how that's going to work. A cost standpoint, is it more crews? Is it actually going? We've got a prosecutor now who's actually prosecuting.
I think that's a big deal.
Yep. That is, and
it's a big deal.
And he's done a terrific job to this point in time, by all intents and purposes.
Right. There's two parts of this perception issue, in my opinion. Part one is, would you walk from patios to the Magnolia at night after a Cardinal game? That to me is like your basic part of it.
Right now, I would not.
I wouldn't either. But I think that's kind of that's a benchmark. And the second benchmark is, if you're a guy that breaks into cars as a hobby or for a full-time job, you break into cars now, you have no fear anything's going to happen to you. You break into cars in St. Louis just like you'd brush your teeth in the morning and chill a coffee. Will that guy that breaks into cars for a living, will he start to get a little nervous? Will he look around? Right now, I think he just walks in and said, roll cars, a bunch of customers, pretty maids, all in a row. Here we go. Start breaking stuff, smashing. Will that guy look around and see, oh, is there a cop coming? Is that guy that's the impression. And to me, he doesn't care about stats. Neither do you or I care about stats. We care about, is it the perception of, are we safe?
Well,
and if that guy has to look around before he breaks into that car, I think that's when, the murders are going to get pushed north if that guy's worried about breaking into a car on Grand Avenue and Tower Grove.
Have you seen if the mayor is going to have any leverage whatsoever over the St. Louis PD, or is that going to have to be
Which
a situation?
Mayor?
Well, either one. Whoever's going
to
be
be Jones will not
she
have
hates
any influence over the police department if she rallies and wins, which I don't think is impossible. I think it's unlikely.
Yeah,
I think it'd be 4-1. They would totally ostracize her. I also don't think she really wants to do the kind of things it's probably going to take to make you feel safe to take that 6-block walk.
I think Kara Spencer would. I think Kara Spencer would work with this.
I think she gets a fresh start, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I do think Kara gets a fresh start to look at some of these problems. And here's the thing: it really doesn't matter if Kara Spence or Tashara Jones likes it. There's going to be 4 gubernatorial appointees confirmed by
Yep.
the Missouri Senate that are going to be there basically as an arm of the police department. Basically, the police union's done a great job. Hat tip to Jay Schroeder and those guys. The police union will run that police board, lock, stock, and barrel. And I think that's going to cause problems for a mayor elected by a city that, let me just
Yeah.
tell you this:
Yeah, it
the
will.
4 people that get put on there would not get elected by the citizens of the city of St. Louis. There's no way. They're there to stop crime. And here's the thing, Vic: we always shortcut. Tashara Jones was duly elected. The crime problem festered for the last 2 decades under duly elected mayors who were not running on fighting crime. They were
No.
running on,
DEI pronoun.
yeah. You tell me. I mean, so part of it is, you in democracy, you do at some point get the government you deserve and that you want. St. Louis has had it. Now the state's taking part of that away from them. I don't think that means folks are going to vote for more tough on crime elected officials. I think probably the opposite, if you want the truth,
No, it
because
is.
now you have a boogeyman in Jeff City to blame.
Well, there's one thing that's for certain, Scott. The whole perception idea is the fact that's going to take maybe a generation. I'm just being honest, to change, because now we're still in a situation where businesses are leaving. They're not
Well,
going to St.
but
Louis.
Vic,
Even the
all
local
right.
TV stations are all leaving downtown.
Exactly. I mean, that's when your left wing KSDK folks have pulled up stakes. Do you think they want to do that? No,
No,
they want. I mean, and also, man, there's to me. Look, I'm not from St. Louis. There was a point of pride about KMOX and KSDK and KMOV being downtown at the Arch. Remember how KMOX you'd say we're da 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 da. It's
not
44
anymore.
degrees downtown at the Arch. None of them are downtown now. KMOX is arguably in a worse place. They're adjacent to some homeless encampment.
Yeah, they
Um,
are.
I mean, that place is to me more scary than downtown because they have the big homeless shelter at the World War I Memorial. I mean, the
It
libraries have
is.
become essentially just a homeless shelter. That I mean, I wouldn't want my kids going to a library downtown St. Louis, or frankly, the World War I Memorial. Either one. So I guess it's a perception thing, but part of that perception is going to be, if you support Mike Kehoe, you're going to have to support St. Louis, and that's going to be a tough sell. I'm kind of to the point of, I'm fine to support St. Louis because I believe in Mike Kehoe. But now that state legislature better start worrying about the folks that elected him,
Yeah.
because them running to be St. Louis city alderman, I think they've done that for 3 months now. You spent 3 months as a city alderman. Now let's give a damn about something outside 270, which is going to be a radical change for the Missouri Republican Party, because the only thing they give a damn about in is things inside 170. Hell, they don't even care 270. That legislature is laser focused on 170. Much less some poor son of a gun in McDonald County. He can go piss up a rope.
Scott, before you get out this morning, great perspective as always. Do you have any predictions for the 2025 St. Louis baseball Cardinals as you see as they get ready to start this season in less than 3 weeks?
If there was an 8th circle of hell, that's where we'd be. This is a team with no direction, no leadership, a manager that wouldn't get an interview to be an assistant manager at a Wendy's. Nobody wanted our star player. We tried to trade him to everybody. Everybody said no thanks. The marquee signing is some 30-something-year-old relief pitcher that they did on, what is today, March 15th or something. It is a directionless team. It is a hopeless team. It is a team that has no life. It is ran by a general manager who's 10 years past his sell-by date. I have never been as negative in my life as I am on the St. Louis Cardinals. If there was an 8th circle of hell, we'd find a way to get there. I have no confidence that Nolan Gorman can hit a baseball more than 1 out of 10 swings. I think Jordan Walker's on track to be a very average, not superstar player. Mason Wynn's exciting. I love watching Brendan Donovan play the game of baseball. Wilson Contreras is fun to watch hit. But I mean, you're talking when your stars are very average players, you're going to get a very average record. I don't think we'll lose 100 games. We never do. I also think we'll win somewhere between 80 and 85, 86 games. We'll suck. And then the only hope for this, well, the only hope for civilization really is that DeWitt finally throws a big party and gives Mozeliak a gold watch and a box to put his stuff in. And he says, Heim, we drove this thing in the ditch, and we're all, the only hope that blooms at all is Heim bloom. That's the only
Yes,
hope.
he's the
That's the
new.
only hope the Western civilization has is Heim Bloom to come in.
He's the
And
heir
to
apparent
me,
for our
we
listeners who
should
don't
have.
know.
Yeah, we should have done this last year. They should have made Bozeliak a general advisor or promote him up like you would a shop steward. And you tell Bloom, obviously this sucks. Tear it down. Send Marmol back to the grounds crew. Uh, Go hire an actual real major league manager with real major league experience. I'm thinking Albert Pujols is out there. Can you imagine a franchise if they could bring the greatest player of the generation home, who's proven himself he can manage in the Dominican? Imagine if another team hired Pujols and we were stuck
No,
with
no, 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 no.
Ali Marmol, who's the most unaccomplished person I might have ever met in my life. The man is confident, and I still can't imagine where that confidence comes from. I just Whitey Herzog was confident, but he could polish his World Series ring, right? I don't know where the confidence of Ollie Marmol comes from. It is. I would say it was impressive, except he has the most important job in my life, and he's terrible
Exactly.
at it. That's why I voted for Trump. I mean, life can't get worse. It just can't get worse.
And now it's getting better for you. After
Well, I don't
every
know.
day. Scott,
No, it's not. It
Scott
is
from
not
the
getting better
Scott from the
until I
Cardinals.
see some hope. It's not
Okay.
getting better.
Well, the worst part for me is thinking about, dare I say it, Pujols or Yachty managing in a division against us, and St. Louis could have had either one of them.
If I was the Cubs, I mean, honestly, can you imagine? I know they have Craig Counsell, who's a great manager. They're not going to move him.
I
But
just
imagine if the Cubs hired Pujols. Honestly, I would be the first person. It'd be time to riot. We got to go to DeWitt's house like they did Lyda Cruzan. I mean, everything's on. There's nothing off the table.
Oh my God. No.
If I was in the National Guard and you deployed me to stop a riot after that happening, I'd be like, no, I'm joining the rioters.
Yeah, Pujols is my favorite.
It's time to overthrow
athlete of all
Trump.
time.
It's time to overthrow Kehoe. It's time. I mean, there's nobody should be spared from being ran from public life. We might have to start over and just question democracy.
It's Scott Fawn, Missouri time.
Democracy has us terrible. Maybe authoritarian dictatorship we go to first. If that's the case, I'm for it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for giving us time from DC with your family today. Enjoy the rest of the trip, and tell Donald we love him if you see him. Okay.
Love.
Scott Fawn, check out Missouri. Hey, Scott. Oh, my fault. Scott, I apologize to you. I wanted to promote his show. He said he's going to have Eric Schmidt on his next show coming up this week. So he's out in DC talking to his good buddy, Eric Schmidt, who, by the way, has been kicking ass as a U.S. Senator as well. No surprise there. That's what our Missouri senators do. Ray of sunshine when it comes to the Cardinals. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes with this whole state takeover. Glenn's like, he's hilarious. Yes, he is hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, I love Trump because a couple weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago, when the Maine governor, they were talking about, because this whole deal of men being allowed to play in women's sports, I don't care if it's 2, 3, 5, whatever. It should not be happening. We know that. And since cancel culture is over, the DEI is over, pronouns are over, all of that crap stuff is done. You should not have men being allowed to play in women's sports. But all of your Democrats in Congress voted for it. Every single one of them, House and Senate. Well, remember the Maine governor trying to challenge Trump to his face in a press conference? Well, we'll show you we're going to remind you what happened. And then we're going to show you what Donald Trump has done, living to his word. When Donald Trump says he's going to do something, he does it.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. So just to end.
Okay, so that's what Donald Trump said. Well, she FAFO'd. And this is a problem with a lot of these Democrats. They get their pride. Yeah, like I said, it's the worst thing of humanity. It's pride. That's why Lucifer was cast out, because of freaking pride. Here you go. Donald Trump has now cut funding to all colleges in Maine after the state refused to follow his executive order. It was about keeping men out of women's sports. Donald Trump tried to tell her, and she got all defiant in his face, like that little punk 13, 14-year-old kid that is spoiled and thinks that he or she can get whatever they want. Oh, really? Really? We're going to smack the crap out of you right here. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did when it comes to all intents and purposes. So she FA'd, she FO'd, and Donald Trump wins again. And if you think she'll be elected again, think again. She won't be. And I know Maine is very liberal, but she won't be. She'll be done. Done. Donna says, anyone see the high school track athlete that jumped a female by over 6 feet? Yeah, male. Lisa says, love how Scott just preached for 3 minutes about boosting positivity in the St. Louis and then talked down about the Cardinals. Yeah, because this is, I don't remember there ever being a lower point for Cardinals baseball in my lifetime when it comes to the end, there's no optimism. And they kept their terrible general manager around for another year, lame duck. Tanya says, great guest. He was hilarious, was driving. Albert Pujols should be the manager. We don't. Pujols wants to be a manager, and the last thing we need. And so does Yachty, though. They both want, and Pujols has proved to be amazing as a manager. Could you imagine those two best friends? One of them with the Cardinals, one of them with the Cubs, going against each other? Hell no. No. And then who would you want? Would you want Yachty or Pujols? Man, I love both those guys. Those are real men when it comes to baseball. Love both those guys. Something else that's interesting, because from the Donald Trump standpoint of FAFO, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi did an interview yesterday with Fox News. They weren't kidding. What the Democrats got away with in the deep state for the last 4 years is shocking, sickening, and disgusting. But it's all being brought to light now. And the fact of the matter is, Kash isn't waiting around. Kash literally said yesterday that they are now opening an investigation into Judge Juan Merchan's daughter, who was working and making money, all as a part of what Merchan was doing, parading around in a fake mock trial against Donald Trump. Listen to what they had to say about that.
It's just amazing that he would say that.
It's shockingly unconstitutional, Trace. It's great to be with you, and I'm here to announce on your show a measure that I'm working with Congress that should be Congress's bread and butter. And I'm calling for the subpoenas to be issued to Judge Merchan's daughter's company, who made $15+ million from the illicit information pouring out of her father's courtroom. I want to know the bank records, because money doesn't lie. Yep. I want to know how deep it is and how much of it went to the family and how much of it is going to the family after this false conviction. And then we need to investigate the FEC actual violations that this judge and his family conducted, because he should never have been overseeing this trial to begin with, because of the illicit campaign money that was flowing through there. And the unconstitutional due process violations are only the beginning. So America is calling for accountability of our judicial system, and Congress is the only lever that has it. And I'm hoping for 1 or 2 brave members of Congress that I'm talking to issue those subpoenas.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kash Patel. What was going on was so illegal, so wrong, but national media wouldn't talk about it. Oh, Trump's in court. Let's look at his new mugshot, blah, blah. Not even talking about the real crime that was going on. New sheriff in town. Like I said, it's a cleansing. Enjoy every second, every day, because we continue to have things undone that should have been done. Jeannie says, yep, get every single one of those judges out, because it was all wrong what was happening. And it's not just that. It's also going through and calling things out. For example, Homeland Security officials are now coming out as they figure out the reports. We told you on this show, all of this would come to life at some point. Just remember, the next time the Democrats in the deep state and the cockroaches rise up from the dark little crevices and of nasty swampness to try to throw something else at us, They said that the books were being cooked by Biden when it came to the border. Listen to this, because it's one thing to say, yeah, we've got arrest, but then what happens after the arrest? So now we're being told this is what was happening, and we're not surprised.
Top Homeland Security officials just revealed that Joe Biden was cooking the books on border arrests. Joe Biden said he arrested tens of thousands of migrant criminals, but they weren't arrested. Biden just caught and released them. Biden was taking credit for the catches, but then hiding the releases. If Biden was lying about this, what else is he lying about? Jobs numbers, the cocaine, obviously. Why should we believe anything Biden said after he told us he was healthy? Donald Trump should open an investigation into everything Joe Biden put out. ICE says they're now trying to find and lock up the illegals that Biden lied about arresting. Trump's team already arrested more migrants than Biden did in all of 2024, and he hasn't even been in office 2 months. Homan was in New York today. He went to the state capitol just to knock some heads together. He told Governor Hochul that if she doesn't get it together, New York's getting iced.
Sanctuary City is going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the community. We'll double the man force there if we have to.
Oh, yeah.
Because rather than one officer arresting a bad guy in the jail, one officer arresting one bad guy, now I got to send the whole team.
Homan just wants to make everyone's job easier.
Do you think local law enforcement has the resources to both cooperate with ICE and also conduct public safety for Americans that are committing crimes?
Yes.
Why?
Because they want public safety threats out of their community too, and they're willing to work with feds to make that happen. Every time I go in New York City, I don't think I've ever seen an NYPD officer that didn't come shake my hand and thank me for what we're doing. They want to help. These officers, they don't get paid a lot of money, but they want to protect their community, and they know someone's here illegally, and they can help not only remove them from the community, remove them from the country, make the community safer. They're all in. And I don't think it takes a lot of, rather than arresting the same guy 5 times, arrest him once, give him an us. You don't arrest him anymore. I don't think it's going.
Exactly. We can get out of there, Joe. That's what's happening. They're taking care of business as they should. Oh, and isn't it a good thing? It is a very, 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 very good thing. But even as the Republicans are crushing it. Yep, Glenn, you're right. They lied about the job numbers too. Everything, the fake signatures. We've talked about that this week as well, that Joe Biden literally said that he did not sign bills that his name is on. Okay. The dementia, all of it. Just remember, this is who the Democrats were. This is who they are. And they don't have a party, which is fine now, which is why we need to get as much work as we can done until they find their way. But they're still lost. Oh, by the way, I saw this morning. Pete Buttigieg. And I'm not into talking about who Democrats are running for president. Let Trump do his job. Media throws this shit out there. Well, why are we talking about who's running for president in 2028? Who the truck cares? Nobody cares. Anyway, Pete Buttigieg, he got rid of his pronouns on his profile. It's over. That bullshit is over. He, her, all that stuff. It's over. It's all done. It's over. You had your nice little 4-year run. It's done. Nobody cares. Now, if you're somebody that wants to get into all that, go do your own thing, but don't try to push it on other people. We all have things that we're dealing with internally. Greg says, don't forget Burke, Scarf Lady. Dems were behind her until they weren't. Yeah, of course. But now the Democrats, because they're just trying to be angry and onward, because they don't have anything. They're all fighting for their political lives. But now they say they're not going to vote in the new spending bill. They're going to shut down the government. Oh, Vic, did you say Democrats want to shut down the government? That's exactly what I said. But isn't it interesting? Because it wasn't that long ago in the last year. What were we talking about? The Democrats were saying the Republicans should never shut down the government. The hypocrisy right here.
Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown. But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
There are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes, do Democrats have the stomach?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government, to join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are simply
yeah, I've seen enough of them. They're hypocrites, and that's what it is. Jeannie calls them stupid people. Tiny says, including several low-life Supreme Court justices not doing their jobs. Greg says it's all about spin. They can say the name thing 535 times, in fact, according to them. Yeah, the Democratic hypocrisy, it's all over the place. But we're not messing around with it. We're glad. We move on with it. Yeah. So Pete got rid of his pronouns. I just love it. I'm telling you, man, we are cleansing ourselves. Enjoy every bit of it. The sad thing is what happened with Alex Jones. And I told you I want to get through it. He gave us more information yesterday about Jamie White, his top reporter, who was literally murdered. Now we find out murdered execution style, not far from his home and not far from the facility where they broadcast. I brought this point up yesterday where I was like, I want more information. What did this have anything to do with the job that he does in spreading news and putting factual news out there? Here's Alex explaining more about what happened.
It is very suspicious. I mean, there have been 8 murders in the first 2 months of the year in Austin. And so it's very interesting and very, let's just say, concerning that out of a city of several million people, one of the 8 to be killed is our, I think the crew admits, hands down best writer, who was heavily exposing Soros and USAID and the rest of them. And again, the police won't tell us. They said the call was a hot shot stabbing or shooting, which means critical, serious situation. And again, they got there within 2 minutes of the 911 call, got to the hospital within 15, and then he died as they rolled him in, according to the police, what the captain told me.
Alex,
police told me.
And I've been to your studio in the heart of Austin, Texas, a very liberal stronghold in the heart of a very red state. I'm wondering, do you become a target, Alex? I mean, do you not want to leave Austin, Texas? And again, I'm not suggesting this is a crazy liberal, but we'll certainly find out over time. But it strikes me as, why do you want to stay in that hellhole of a liberal bastion?
Well, that's the obvious question, and that's why we have armed security here, and then we are also armed. I mean, I like a good .357 small, lightweight revolver because I'm good with all of the other guns, but it's not going to fail you. It's very safe, and then I can defend myself. If somebody pulls a gun or comes at me at 30 feet away, I can shoot them right between the eyes or right in the chest, and I carry this on me at all times, and then I've got an assault rifle, and I'm in the trunk. And a lot of times, if I'm having some heat, I carry a semi-auto 12-gauge shotgun. That way, if I got to defend myself, I don't kill people in their houses with the buckshot, but I get who I'm defending against. And so, yeah, look, we've had infiltrators break in the building before. We've had total deep state operation. We got documents recently that the Justice Department was funding all the fake lawsuits against me and all the garbage. We're going to be releasing that soon. The Trump administration on day 2 mailed it to us and said, check your mail. An FBI disk of Obama listing me as a national security threat in 2013. I've had ongoing cases open on me in grand juries. Since then, I did release that 5 weeks ago.
You bring up a good point, though.
Target. So the thing could have been, they could have, it is a possibility that they could have waited and followed him home and then.
All right. There you see. That's what I wanted you to hear him say that. Is it a possibility? Yeah. Hell yeah, it's a possibility, which is scary. You got to protect yourself. And that's why he got into the A2 situation as well. Jerry says what kills me is all the Dems crying about Doge. Yeah, we talk about this a lot. They aren't talking about all that money laundering, the kickback schemes. Yeah, they aren't true. Yeah, of course. Whatever. We already know what is true, and that was not the case. One of the things I wanted to get to, and you guys continue to throw things out there as you do all the time. We've talked a lot, and I said a lot about what's happening when it comes to Ukraine, Russia, across seas. We know about the Middle East, and I love, and this has been out there for a little bit, but I wanted to end the show today with it too, just as a reminder about, and Charlie Kirk's perspective of why we support Israel. And, you know, you may agree, you may not, but I just love how he puts it all together with one of these kids that was trying to challenge him. And we've talked about college kids being very, very mistaken when it comes to teaching. And don't get me wrong, things are changing in colleges, but not fast enough. Here's Charlie Kirk on being Christian and our support for America and Israel.
Have you seen this video?
What religion was Jesus? What did he believe? Well, obviously he's Jew. Where was Jesus born? Why does that matter? Born in Bethlehem. Okay. In Judea. And he was raised in Nazareth, and he walked on the water in Capernaum. What country are those places in right now? What does it matter? It does matter. You know why? Because when I went to Israel, I came in contact with the living God that walked on water and rose Lazarus from the dead. When I went to Israel, I saw the Bible come to life. When I went to Israel, I saw Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah in the Hall of the Patriarchs. When I went to Israel, what I read as Bible stories popped open. And I said, this is the Word of God. This is real. These are not fairy tales or fables or things that we tell our kids. When I went to Israel, I was able to cry where Jesus cried, where he was betrayed by Judas and arrested, where he rose from the dead and gives us eternal life. I am not an apologist for Israel, but I reject wholeheartedly this narrative. Christians who turn their back on Israel, it says in Genesis and Romans and 1 Thessalonians, Paul said you will bless the Jews. If you bless Israel, you will be blessed. If you scorn Israel, you will be scorned. There is a diabolical satanic agenda every single day to try and delegitimize the scriptures. And I will defend the Holy Land, the place that let me see where my Lord and Savior lived. And I will not apologize for that.
Charlie Kirk, thank you so much. Wanted to put that in there in the show again today. Obviously, there's been lots of fighting about that part of the country, and we will continue to, but I just wanted to end that way. What a terrific account of your faith, a terrific account of who you are, a terrific account of what you believe. And we should all have that when it comes to our political stances, our business stances, our family stances, and our faith stances as well. Also, be on the lookout for, I saw it on Libs of TikTok this morning. You'll find, and it's not all of them, but there are some unhinged liberals who are now siding with the cartels and asking them to please target Donald Trump. Just remember, this is target him on the side of cartels. That's how angry these Trump derangement syndrome people are. That's how crazy they get. They don't want what's best for America. They want to just feed their crazy, aggressive feelings at that moment. And it's really, really bad. Just want to say thank you for joining the show. Want to give a shout out to Sentry. Water, you buy the water at hydration20.com. I always say it, and it is. It's the best water system in the world. It gets out more, quote, bad stuff, fluoride, chlorine, 220 PFAs, all the arsenic, chromium 6. It makes your water alkaline, means it's not acid. And then it does something that no other system in the world can do. It puts oxygen in your water in a natural process, magnesium and calcium. And where oxygen is in the body, sickness can't go. You get truly hydrated. There's a reason why pets choose that water over water out of a sink. And of course, it eliminates the need for bottles, the water bottles and the plastic bottles and all the microplastics that you get in that. Check them out. $300, takes 15 minutes to install underneath your sink. Go to hydration20.com. Hydration20.com. Once again, hydration20.com. Also, when it comes to Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, you're not going to find a better place. They've been with us from the beginning. Some of the best bar food you're going to find anywhere. From their tater tots to the smoked beef to the flat tire, which is one of the best burgers you're going to find anywhere, to their pizza, which people love, to their buffalo chicken salads. I continue to go on. The wings was some of Joe's favorite there. 100% good time, great service. Check them out. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Some of the best sandwiches you're going to have are Capriati's. National chain, but we've got one in St. Louis. It's in Rock Hill. Jonathan owns it. Tell him you appreciate him advertising with Cancel This. The Wagyu beef, the Philly cheesesteak is absolutely amazing. Their turkey sandwiches are literally second to none. They roast those turkeys overnight, so they're fresh every day. Their platters that they have for catering are second to none either. Check it out. Capriati's, it's one of a kind. It's not like anything else you've had. It isn't. I love it. Mouthwatering, just talking about it. Grilling season is getting here again. Check out Rockwood Charcoal. It's all natural, made in the state of Missouri. You're not going to find a better charcoal. Do it. Try it out. If you find one, let me know. You won't. You literally take one of the charcoals, you squeeze it, and it breaks apart. It's all natural. You don't want to cook your food over chemicals, especially as we're getting healthier as a country. Check it out. Rockwood, you get it at Ace Hardware. And you want to get your real estate plans together. She's getting busier, but she knows exactly how to get you started. She's waiting for your phone call. Megan Livingstone. It's 314-249-1708. 314-249-1708. You can also call her and email her at megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. You can also check her out on Facebook and Instagram as well. And we appreciate our advertisers. For those of you who have donated whatever, we appreciate anything you can do. Of course, we're just trying to continue to do our shows as we do every day. You can donate to Cancel This. We have a QR code on the screen right now to help pay our bills because that's how we do things. Anything helps us. If you know of anybody that wants to partner with us, let us know as well. So we appreciate it. Guys, have an awesome day. For Projo, I'm Vic Faust. This is Cancel This. Have an awesome day. Praise God that Donald Trump is our president, and we will continue to fight the good fight here. Have a great day.